Well, we may have, because we're starting a little bit early, we may have some folks coming in as we proceed here, and I'm going to do my best to speak directly into this microphone so you can all hear me. This is a very, very exciting day. My name is Erin Benjamin. I'm the Executive Director of Music Canada Live. Music Canada Live is the national association representing the people behind live music. Clubs, venues, promoters, festivals, performing arts centers, arenas, ticketing companies, agents, suppliers to live music, both for and non-profit companies and organizations. We were founded in 2014. I kind of like the reverb on that. Brings me back. We were founded in 2014 to unite and inspire the live music industry to work together to tell and then champion our collective story. To date, Music Canada Live has over 180 members from across the country, with many based here in BC. Welcome, latecomer. Actually, you're right on time. We work very hard at Music Canada Live to entrench the economic, the social, and the cultural value and power of Canada's concert sector for government, for audiences, and as importantly, for each other. And storytelling is really at the heart of what we do. And we began in earnest in 2015 with leadership from our colleagues at Music Canada, the association representing major labels, when we helped to produce the utterly game-changing economic impact study of live music in Ontario called Live Music Measures Up. That was led by my colleague Amy Terrell, who is here today. That pivotal research put us on the path to understanding the broader reality of this sector, its actual size and scope, its true importance to the lives of fans and especially artists, as well as its potential and the challenges faced by those working in the industry. The statistics in that study were far larger than anyone had ever imagined. You know, we'd never really we'd never really counted ourselves before. We'd never really examined the intersection between things like music and tourism. We'd never asked ourselves, how many jobs do we create? Or what is our contribution to GDP? We had never, as an industry, stood up and said, we are a critical part of the ecology of the broader music industry, and we matter, especially to the career development of artists. Live Music Measures Up opened and continues to open doors like never before, and I'd like to think its findings, at least in part, helped contribute to the creation of the BC Music Fund, Amplify BC itself. Quality research can bulletproof any argument, like, say, for example, why it makes sense to invest time, effort, and resources in live music. And today, in partnership with the very enlightened leadership here at Creative BC, with thanks to Minister Bear and her team at the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Lynn Ross and the City of Vancouver, Alex Grigg and Music BC, and our partners, our industry partners at Music Canada, Live Nation, Atomique Productions, This Is Blueprint, and Brand Live, we gather together to demonstrate and most definitely celebrate the tremendous economic, social, and cultural significance of British Columbia's live music sector. So, why does live music matter? To whom does it matter? What should we be thinking about in terms of our industry? How do we measure, manage, predict, and respond to growth? Which other sectors would benefit from a deeper understanding of and connection to this industry? How can we strategically influence things like licensing, development, planning, tourism, and how can we evolve cultural and economic policy? How do we generate opportunities to collaborate with not just the usual suspects, but the unusual suspects? What do we have to gain by working together to tell our story and taking steps to legitimize our work, in busting myths, in speaking with a united voice, in organizing, and in counting ourselves? What do we have to gain? Everything. Please welcome my new best friend and the reason that we are here today. Hear the beat, the economic impact of live music in British Columbia. Woo! Another another remarkable body of research. This is $815.8 million in contribution to provincial GDP. This is almost 7,000 jobs. This is companies projecting growth, and this, my friends, is community, our community. This is also the first time ever that anyone has quantified the live music sector in British Columbia in this way. It is the first time that the industry has come together in this province to highlight its strengths and articulate challenges. This is our story, it's your story, and it states with clarity and purpose the importance of your work economically, socially, and culturally. And while this is most definitely a good news story, the research revealed, as we hoped it would, as we needed it to, some persistent challenges that we need as a sector and in partnership with government to address. So you'll find in the report that the study tells us things like we need to work more effectively to prove the value of the industry to external audiences, that live music companies are seeing increased operational and labor costs in tandem with rising property taxes and that this is problematic, that many bylaws and regulations in BC are still impeding the development of a vibrant live music sector, often at the city level, something that we know that the forthcoming Vancouver music strategy will certainly help to address in this city. We know that live music companies may struggle to sustain business models without ongoing operational grants, and that it can be hard to find labor with the appropriate business skills necessary. And of course, that we have a huge collective opportunity waiting to be leveraged with the tourism sector. The prevailing message in the study is clear. A strong and well-supported music industry is good for artists. It's good for companies and organizations, and it's good for the people and the cities and the towns in British Columbia. The making of this report required a huge effort from a cross-section of some very smart, very busy people. They are all visionaries and they are all leaders. At the top of my list of thank yous has to be Carly Fry, Christian Roberts, and Chad Rickaby. Thank you, Nordicity, for your outstanding work. To Creative BC, Prem, Gill, and Brenda Grinnell. Where are you now? There's Prem, Brenda, and your whole team here. Thank you for your clear understanding of and exemplary commitment to this sector, and thank you for hosting us today, and for all of the Creative BC people who can hear us. There are snacks over to my right. I'd like to thank Music Canada Live board members Amy Terrell and Nick Blasko, as well as Paul Hagginson, Peter Deemer, Nate Sabine, Alvaro Prohl, Sandra, Branislav, and Lynn from the City of Vancouver, and Paul and Catherine Reynolds for your help in helping us to complete this work. I would also like to thank Music BC, Alex Grigg and Rob Calder, as well as my little Music Canada Live family who are not here but are here in spirit, Victoria Shepherd and Jane Caddis-Sharp. I would like to thank MLAs Stillwell and Kolchak for coming. Did I pronounce that right, sir?
You got it.
Awesome. And ADM Claire Abison and Councillor Adrian Carr. And I would like to thank BC artist Gillian Thompson and her brother Robert, who will perform shortly for us this morning, and to all of the amazing British Columbia artists who change our lives one show at a time, here and around the world, and to each of you in this room and from right across the province who contributed to this study via the survey or interviews or joined us in person at the roundtables that we held. You did this. You made this happen. You know, when I think about it, live music is probably 40 years behind the rest of the music industry in terms of working together. Music Canada Live is only 3 years old, but we are proving what's possible when we put our common goals on the table. And with this report, and with what we know in Ontario, we can now say with certainty that the Canadian live music industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and that is only 2 provinces so far. The power of this information is game-changing, and the potential for our audiences, and our artists most especially, is limitless. This report will help us to make strategic decisions, to collaborate more effectively with government and other sectors, to respond to the challenges we face. But most importantly, I believe it will help you to see yourselves, whether you work directly in the music industry in this room or not. It will help you to see yourselves as part of the bigger picture, to imagine what's possible when we work together. British Columbia is home to some of the most important, innovative, and passionate people working in music anywhere. And Music Canada Live is extremely proud to be able to help tell your story here at home and around the world. We look forward to the next steps and to sharing this report broadly and to shining a spotlight on your work and this extraordinarily beautiful province. So congratulations to everyone in this room. Thank you very much. Even more ahead of schedule right now. This never happens. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming to the stage a visionary in her own right, someone who is doing some of the most important work and leading the country in many respects. And I'd like to thank her again for her support of Music Canada Live in this study, the CEO of Creative BC, Prem Gill.
Very nice of you, thank you. And welcome to Creative BC, welcome to our home. We are proudly here located on the traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh Nations. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary in this new space, and we are very excited to be in this neighborhood and to support the launch of this great study. So congratulations on all of your hard work. I too can speak very fast and briefly, but I'm just here to tell you a little bit about what's happening with the music programs here at Creative BC. There's been many projects funded through the BC Music Fund, and now continuing into Amplify BC. Over 500 projects were funded in the last 2 years. That's tremendous. Over a $15 million investment into the music sector by the government of British Columbia, and we're only growing. And this research project is one of those projects that was supported through the programs of the BC Music Fund, and will continue to inform us. This kind of information is really vital as we develop programs here at Creative BC, as we work both with industry and government in the growth and development of the sector. And it really is what unites us all. And what has been so fascinating and amazing the last couple of years for us is the galvanization, the coming together of, as you noted, Erin, the live music sector, but the entire music industry in a phenomenal way that we haven't actually seen in this province before, across the province, not just here in Metro Vancouver. So congratulations to everybody. We're really excited. We've launched 2 more programs this week, and the team is around. Brenda, Gina, Caitlin, Nashlyn, track them down. They can tell you all about the programs. We are still in the process of doing some further consultations and discussions, and we can continue to further improve the programs that we'll launch through Amplify BC, and we're just really excited to have you all here. So congratulations again. And please keep in touch with us and ask us any questions about Amplify BC programs or anything else we do here at Creative BC. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Prem. People around the corner, are you doing all right? I can't see you. Where is my teleprompter? It's much easier for me to look around when you know, one of the things that I like most about my job is getting to work with promoters. Challenge at the beginning of bringing Music Canada Live together is a reality that many concert promoters in this country, and those of you who know me have heard me say this before, proprietary, you know, maybe a little territorial, competitive entrepreneurs who are not exactly used to sitting in a room and talking about their business. This has been the greatest achievement to date of Music Canada Live, I think, is bringing some of Canada's smallest and biggest concert promoters together and other live music stakeholders to build this association. And they are making progress in leaps and bounds. And one of the people who is responsible for that, and someone who impresses me every day with the number of hats that he wears, and his own accomplishments through his company, whether it's producing festivals or managing artists like Tegan and Sarah. Victoria's very own Nick Blasko is, again, a leader in this industry. We're very lucky to have him on our board of directors, and I'd like to introduce introduce him now to say a few words for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Blasko.
Okay. I'd like to say that we also carried this mic stand here earlier, so we're doing it here. So many awesome faces here. Okay, I might go off script a little bit, but thank you for the wonderful intro. And I did want a little reverb, but I guess it's fine. Okay. My name is Nick Blasko. I live across the water in Victoria, and I run an independent concert and events company called Atomique Productions. Our festivals include Rifflandia Festival, going into its 11th year, the Rock the Shores Festival, the Phillips Weekender, Car Free Victoria, Victoria's Canada Day, and our newest, which we held last Sunday, a little foggy still, called the Village Block Party, which was a new one for Victoria in our Cook Street Village neighborhood. Lots of festivals, but also a lot of hard ticket concerts. So we put on about 150 to 175 hard ticket shows throughout the year on Vancouver Island, and I've been doing it since 1998, so a little while. And in addition to my love of concerts and events in Vancouver Island, I also I love artists, and I run a management company, clients Tegan and Sarah since 2002. I have a lot of newcomers on the roster, from Funk Hunters to Luca Fagale, a few producers, graphic artists, people that we can support. So it's a large team. We're on Vancouver Island, and I am on the advisory committee for the BC Music Fund, Amplify, and also sit on the board of Music Canada Live. So Prem and Erin, thank you for inviting me today. Okay, so we'll get into it. That was a bit long. So I do want to echo both of your comments, and I would absolutely agree that today is an historic day for BC's live music sector. The release of this study is not only an important affirmation of what many of us always suspected, and that was that our industry sector is big. This is also an important guidepost and benchmark from which we can all work from. Specifically, festivals in this province have always been important cultural and social events, but little has been done to collectively quantify their economic impact, let alone identify and agree on the challenges that they're continually faced with. So this is significant. We have a group of people in this province who, every year, whatever they were faced with, would endeavor to throw their events with very little support, very little knowledge, and very little resources. And I can say that being on the board of Music Canada Live, it feels different. We are all on this board as equals and talking about challenges throughout this country, not only in the province. So some of you have heard me say this a few times now, but I have to say it again. I'm so encouraged by all of the focus, the cooperation, and all of the optimism that's in BC's music industry right now. And the release of the study couldn't have come at a better time. And as you dig into the data and the findings, I know that everyone will agree that there's so much to point to in the study, and so much to be proud of, so much to drill down on, to help us make better informed decisions in the future. And in restating these two incredible figures, the 800 million GDP and the 7,000 jobs, let this be a reminder to our government and policymakers that our industry truly matters. Well beyond the anecdotal, the feel-good, and the surface level, the impact is real, and it's increasingly vital to our province's success and its position in our country and beyond our borders. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nick. Beautifully said. And it's so important to have the voice of the industry. I get to speak a lot at different things, and I run the association, right? But Nick is the guy on the ground doing the hard work, and we really appreciate you being here. And he's not going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this. Nick is going to Ottawa after this because Tegan and Sarah are receiving the Mid-Career Achievement Award at the Governor General's Performing Arts Awards at the National Arts Centre on Saturday night, and that is massive. It's massive for women. It's massive for artists, that artists like Tegan and Sarah were chosen by the National Arts Centre, and it's massive for Nick and his team, so congratulations, Nick, it's fantastic. And I get to be there and watch. I will send you all pictures. So before I introduce our next guests, there will be a quiz before you each leave on a key stat. So you just memorize one key stat before you leave, and you'll be able to take that home and talk about it when you get to your desk. So see me before you go. I'll be taking notes. But we couldn't, of course, have a live music. It's a study, right? Like it's a lot of paper and statistics. But we cannot talk about live music in this province or anywhere else without actually being able to experience and enjoy some live music. And I was telling Jillian Thompson that she was here representing all of BC artists today, so no pressure whatsoever. But another great part of my job is getting to discover artists as I get to work across the country, and it's been a real pleasure to get to know Jillian through this process. I would like to now introduce Sister Says, which is the name of her group. They're a soulful indie pop group based out of Vancouver, fronted by mixed Haida Shimian siblings Jillian and Robert Thompson. Eclectic and lyrically rich, Sister Says roots stem from the soul, blues, and pop music the two grew up around as children. They're here to perform 2 songs for you today. Please welcome Sister Says. And here's something I didn't know. Her brother's just parking his car. So a little bit about me. I live in Ottawa. Let's see. Why don't we can have some fun while we wait? Because I love these spontaneous moments with absolutely no. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Thompson. We'll give him a second let's talk about the amazing harbor air for a second. Who's had those little planes, been on those planes? So who has got to sit in the cockpit? But Margaret, you're from Live Nation. How did you enjoy the cockpit experience yesterday?
Petrifying and
yes. Can you imagine though? Like it's an amazing. It's very cool to come out here and get to fly on those little planes. What else should we talk about? Who wants to talk about the Leafs? No, okay.
Maybe Kinder Morgan.
Let's talk about, how about Joanna Murata? How are you from BCTC?
Good. Just did an awesome workshop with Tom Jackson on the weekend. We had 60 fabulous young musicians coming to a great 2-day workshop.
Amazing. And what venue was that at?
The Anvil Center in New Westminster.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Joanna Murata from British Columbia. I know, this is hard, right? Are you all feeling for me now? What else should we talk about? If we were in, Councillor Carr.
Yeah, I can say that we just passed policy to ease the parking problem in this area, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, Councillor Carr. Do we have any other politicians who would like to shout out randomly? This is your moment. Are you sure? Okay, you can reserve the right to change your mind if you like. I know it's hard to be spontaneous.
So we're not getting rid of cars then?
Yeah, that's a myth.
I love it. Thank you. You're one of the good ones.
Wow. There's something else I wasn't expecting. Someone leaned on a switch, I have a feeling. All set?
I'm ready.
Oh, thank God. All right. No, it is what it is, live music, the show, you never know, right? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, finally, Sister Says.
Thank you for that, and sorry about the reverb, although it did sound kind of cool.